As you may have noticed by looking at today's objective, we are turning over the class to you. It is time to present PowerPoint movie reviews or Google Slide reviews on the movies of your choice. I decided to take the pressure off of the first speaker by stealing your spot. I chose this movie, School of Rock, to review starring Jack Black. Enjoy. Today for my demo example of a PowerPoint movie review or Google Slide review, I'm going to present one of the best movies ever made, which is a movie called School of Rock, made in 2003, produced by Paramount Pictures, Scott Rudin, and directed by Richard Linklater. Leading actor and actress are Jack Black and Joan Cusack, and this review was completed on October 21st, 2020, one day before it was due, by myself. In the plot of this movie, Jack Black plays an unemployed musician named Dewey Finn, who decides to become a substitute teacher to earn money to pay his rent. He takes on his roommate's identity since he's unqualified to really substitute teach, and prepares to fake his way through the job. When he discovers that elementary school age students that he is teaching are musically talented, he decides to form a band with these students. The fallout afterwards is what the movie is all about. The question is whether or not Dewey Finn will succeed or fail with an illegally formed band comprised of talented but young students. In terms of the characters and locations, Jack Black plays Dewey Finn, who's the manic protagonist. Joan Cusack is the principal, tough but vulnerable. Mike White plays Ned Schneebly, who's his weak-willed roommate and who really had the teaching certificate in order to substitute teach. Sarah Silverman plays Ned's girlfriend, who is very bossy and doesn't want to deal with Jack Black's baloney. And of course the cast of kids, very multi-talented, enough to comprise a band, and believe it or not, for kids, they are not annoying, which is a good quality because there are so many movies where the kids are annoying and ruin the movie. The location is New York City at a private school. This film can best be described as a feel-good movie in that the audiences come away from it energized after laughing all the way through it. Jack Black carries the movie at first, as do the other adult characters, but the students one by one emerge as their personalities and talents are simultaneously discovered by both Black's Dewey Finn character and the movie-going audience themselves. The actors playing the students are legitimately musically talented, but their acting skills shine as well alongside their musical performances. Finally, it's a teaching movie at heart, with Finn at first trying to use the system to his advantage, but then in the end realizing that pulling potential from his talented student band is worth more than simply being able to pay the rent. One feel-good moment that comes to mind is the Battle of the Bands sequence, and the way the students put on their segment of the show under Finn's instruction. Featuring 28 songs qualifies this film to definitely be a musical, and Jack Black supplies the lion's share of the comedy, but so do the supporting cast members, including the child actors in the movie. The competition aspects of the Battle of the Bands bring to mind Pitch Perfect, as there are moments in both Pitch Perfect and School of Rock in which competitors effectively train and go through an ups and downs to finally put forth an awe-inspiring final show. Both films also rely heavily on humor before, during, and after the musical performances. In School of Rock, the strong central character is Jack Black, whereas in Pitch Perfect, the central characters are the performers themselves. Both movies have their moments of triumph centered around musical performances, though. Throughout the movie, Jack Black behaved outrageously, but what sold this joke time and time again were the reaction shots, mainly from the children in the film. Specifically, when Jack Black's character Dewey Finn first met the students and was unprepared to substitute teach the way the students expected of him, the students were appropriately unimpressed. Another key reaction shot came from Jack Black, upon discovering that the students had musical talent. His transition from being bored with the job to excited at the prospect of working with the kids was another effective reaction shot, sold mostly with facial expression. Alright, I'll be nitpicky here. I want to know where Kyle Gass is, not even a cameo. Much has been said about the students being actual musicians, but I found it a great casting move to bring in Jack Black. Not only because he's funny, but because he's a musician himself. He plays in a two-man comedy-oriented band called Tenacious D. Much of the style that he does on stage in his two-man band concerts made its way into the film. His partner in the band, Kyle Gass, is also a great comedy talent. If I was the director and could change anything, I would give Kyle Gass a cameo or a very small part in the movie. So in the end, what's my recommendation? Alright, it sounds easy, but I truly am going to give School of Rock a 10 out of 10. The target audience is extremely wide. I'd say ages 13 to 55. It is a PG-13 movie, both men and women with a sense of humor. If you like music, particularly classic rock from the 70s and 80s, there's another bonus for you. Kids can be annoying, as I mentioned before in films, unless they have true talent, and these kids do, so no worries there. Finally, comedy fans, Jack Black to me is Will Ferrell but better. Maybe as ridiculous at times, but more intelligent and with more heart. Plus, he can sing and play music. If you like your comedy leaving you feeling good as the movie ends, and who doesn't, you can't go wrong with School of Rock. So what you've just seen is an example. It's about 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and that's what we expect you to do in order to get an A on this project. So if you'd like to do it live, we're going to do it live. If you want to produce a movie like you've just seen, you can do that as well and take the pressure off of yourself as far as a live performance goes. Either way, you'll get the same kind of credit. So technically the due date is today. Let's see what you guys have in store.